Hi, let me introduce myself. My name is Mike Lonis, and I'd like to show you about the invention that we made to make a cutoff saw to do a perfect 90-degree angle with the blade. A little bit about the businesses that helped create that was Lonis Stone Landscape Supply. We're a stone landscape supply center. We sell a lot of natural stone, retaining wall block, pavers, and we do a lot of fabrication here too, as far as making stone tables, benches, stools, a lot of custom pieces for our customers. We've always been looking for something. We don't have an expensive computerized saw to be able to make a lot of the square cuts. So very needed product for us, and I think which will truly revolutionize the handheld cutoff saws. Really don't have a fancy name for this thing yet, but I've always called it the shoe, so that's kind of what we'll go with. But it's basically a stabilizing device that holds the blade at a perfect 90-degree angle, and also helps take some of the stress off of holding the saw when you're cutting. So the other aspect is an excavating company that we have, as far as cutting pipe, steel pipe, plastic pipe, different features like that. Anytime you're putting them in fittings, it's always hard to get a square cut on those also. So we use the product. We've been demoing it for quite a while now, and I just can't tell you how great the product works. So let's go to the shop, and we'll show you some of the features of the shoe, and then we'll show you how it works firsthand. Let me show you some of the features of the cutoff shoe. To start with, you'll notice that the shoe itself hits the surface first, what that does is puts the blade at a perfect 90-degree angle. The shoe itself is spring-loaded, so it easily goes up when you push down on the saw, which helps stabilize any fatigue also. Another feature is if you want a depth gauge with it, if you bring this up, you can depth your gauge from the shoe to the saw, lock it off on the side with the lock-off mechanism, and that sets your gauge so you can be able to saw whatever you want to cut or at an angle. If you desire to have the more depth, you can actually bring the shoe all the way up against the bottom of the saw, and at that point it's totally out of your way. So if you want some other type of cutting, it's not in your way to do that. And if you want to take it off all the way, it's a matter of just a few moments actually. And we'll keep the tape rolling just to show you how easy that is. There's two set screws, Allen screws on the sides. Simply pull them off. Flip the shoe out, and now your saw is right there to be able to use without the device in your way at all. I'm going to demonstrate for you now how we're going to cut a piece of 3-inch sandstone using the saw shoe. Now we'll show you what kind of cut, how perfect the cut is. Pull the pieces apart. And actually show you the angle that the perfect square cut that the saw was able to do. Without that, there's just simply no way I could possibly have done that to be able to make a cut like that. Put the pieces back together. Perfect 90-degree cut. We're now going to cut a piece of 3-inch Schedule 40 conduit, electrical conduit we use a lot of times in the excavating side of the business. Just to show you how nice it is, how nice it fits in the fittings, being a nice square cut. I'm using a level to show you what a precise cut that is, using the quick cut, and it's right there. That gives you such a much better job for your customer, your client, that everything fits in the fittings nice, and it's just that easy. Obviously that can be used on steel pipe, plastic pipe, different sizes, so just another use for the... I'll show you the depth gauge portion of the cutoff shoe. What we'll do, we'll put this at about 1.5 inches. What we're going to cut is a piece of 3-inch, it's a concrete cap, 3 inches thick. We've cut 2 grooves across. Roughly there's your 1.5 inches. It just makes for a really nice, if you need to groove out a piece of stone, concrete cap. So step back inside again. Beautiful high day here, sun shining, but it's kind of windy outside, just so you can hear us better. Just want to kind of go over what we went through there with the demos. We showed you the depth gauge, as far as how nice that works. You need to cut grooves or so forth through any kind of material. We showed you the perfect square cut it made on the piece of sandstone. And then the pipe, any kind of pipe that you need to cut, get that nice square angle, go in the fittings. But I also would like to share with you, once we got the patent awarded to us, we've had great interest from our contractors on this. Their first response to me is, where can we get this thing? You know, they're actually bringing some of their caps and pieces and parts in here and paying us to cut them, so they don't have the waste that you would normally have on a job with miscuts and so forth. So hopefully you saw the value in this. And one other thing I keep telling people, if you put several other brands on a table, really what's the differences of those? One might be a little lighter, one might be a little quicker, something like that, but they're all basically going to do what you're asking them to do. Until you add this device, this invention we invented, there's really nothing that sets this saw apart, any of these saws apart, other than that. So we've truly taken this saw to the next level, I believe, that we can do, instead of using the cumbersome tub saw, which can only cut such a large, only so big of a piece, where you can cut as big a slab as you need to. It's really endless what you can do with this. So hopefully you see the value in this as much as we do, as much as we have firsthand, and hopefully everybody else can get as much use out of it as we have here.